Hey everyone, this is Eric Burkholder here with Jordan Bradford, Senior Advisor at Burkholder Wealth Management, and we thought we'd give you a little update on Social Security. Jordan, tell us, we just got some news about Social Security, so tell us what's going on.
Yeah, we did, and it's a topic that is applicable to a lot of our clients and just a lot of people in general. But the big news in the last couple days or so here now is that Social Security in 2023 is getting a pretty good cost of living adjustment. In fact, it's going to be 8.7%.
Wow,
So
that seems like a lot. How does that compare to historical raises?
yeah, so over the last 40 years, that would be the highest rate by a pretty good margin, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Last year we saw Social Security increased. Or for 2022, I guess is what I should say, Social Security COLA adjustment was 5.9%.
Okay.
And that was actually high relatively to what we've seen in the last 20, 30 years for Social Security as well. And then this year, of course, with inflation continuing to remain, pretty stubborn, it seems like, I think that the higher cost of goods are sticking around for a little while. So Social Security is raising everyone's benefit by 8.7%, which comes out on average to roughly $140 for everyone who's collecting Social Security. And that's just based on what the average Social Security benefit is today.
Right.
So, on average, you're looking at, bringing in about an extra $140 per month starting in January.
Wow. Well, obviously a silver lining, that has gone up because inflation is up and costs have gone up. But, a good thing is if inflation does moderate and kind of come back to normal level, those Social Security payments stay at the higher rate. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. So it's permanent. So you get that cost of living adjustment, and now every year going forward, it's compounding on that larger number. So if, as an example, let's say in 2024, we've seen inflation kind of slow down next year, and Social Security only raises your benefit by 1%. You still got that 8.7% for 2023, and then a 1% on top of that number.
Right.
So it just compounds year over year, and it's the way that the Social Security Administration takes into account the fact that inflation is real.
Right.
And if you retire at 60 or 65 and you live for 20, 30 years, that's a lot of years of inflation compounding on the cost of your living. So Social Security does the same thing with your benefit. We just haven't really seen much in the last 10, 15 years with inflation being relatively low during that time.
Right. I mean, I think there were many years where there was no inflation adjustment on Social Security.
Yeah, I think just looking back to 2009, which in 2009, I believe, the cost of living adjustment for Social Security was around 5.8%. And then that may have been 2008 actually, but 2009 going forward, we've seen 3 years where it's been zero.
Yeah. Wow.
And then 1 year was only 0.3%. So that's basically 4 out of the last 13 years, 12 years, where Social Security has essentially not raised the benefit whatsoever. So, to some degree, maybe it's overdue.
Yeah, and so hopefully this ends up being a net positive if the increase stays and we get inflation back to a more manageable level. And then, this could be a really good thing for retirees. Well, so that's for people who are retired and taking Social Security. I mean, there's some recent changes that will affect current workers, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the flip side of this is that, in an effort to pay for these increases, right, the Social Security Administration does have to collect more tax revenue. So if you're currently working right now, you may know that your income or your taxable income for Social Security is capped at $147,000. And going forward now, starting in 2023, that's going to jump up to $160,200. Now that's per filer. So if you're a married couple, both earning $200,000, let's say, whereas in 2022 you only paid Social Security tax on $147,000 of your income. Now you're paying that on just over $160,000. So it is it could be an effective jump of maybe $26,000, maybe a little bit more than that, for couples who are earning pretty good incomes.
Yeah. So all things held constant, people could see their paycheck go down slightly if they fall into that category beginning next year.
Exactly right. Yeah, especially if you're right on that threshold. You could see that, that net change could be, and it's not going to be a massive number, but you may notice that your paycheck went down maybe $50 or so.
Yeah. And, obviously people don't like paying more tax, but on the flip side, we Social Security does need more money. And so we got to pay for it somehow. And so it seems like, these types of changes were inevitable, and we may continue to see more.
Right.
Everyone is still being affected by Social Security, whether you're working or retired. And so, I would imagine we continue to see changes. Inflation, who knows what it's going to be like next year, but, I think the payments are going to change, and then potentially how they afford those payments will continue to figure it out. So,
right.
We're certainly staying attuned of what's going on, and anybody out there has questions on Social Security, inflation adjustments, when to take Social Security is often something we work with, or even just tax planning in general is really something we can handle here. So, let us know. Any questions out there that we didn't answer today, happy to answer them. And then hopefully these increases end up being a benefit, and we can get inflation under control. So, thanks for the info, Jordan. And we will see you guys on the next video. Thanks.